will be taken care of. Do not run. Do not panic. Do not resist.
During last summer, numerous violent incidents were reported in the UK. In these attacks, 2 dogs and 1 tortoise in the area of Cornwell were killed. The culprit of these so-called attacks? Seagulls. These incidents gathered the attention of the media. The tabloids exploited the explicit events in order to cause a massive wave of panic and as a result placed gulls into the centre of public attention. Although the seagulls did attack animals and people, are they the malicious, murderous creatures they are presented to be in the front pages? We decided to contact people with different occupations and opinions who are involved with this bird. Dave, a scriptwriter whose most famous work features mutated, murderous seagulls, belongs to a different world than Rudolf Nager, and Nina O'Hanlon, profound scientists with field experience with the bird.
The dogs getting attacked, yeah, our pets in general, I think, yeah, a couple of times I heard about it, yeah, it was a big talking point, wasn't it, seagulls? Everyone's got something to say about them because they're particularly vicious. Well, particularly vicious, they're territorial, I guess, more than anything, to give them credit. I mean, I know a lot of people that have been attacked by seagulls in this town. I've been slapped in the face by a seagull. Like, it felt like an open-handed slap. It wasn't an issue when I was a youngster because we had the fish market in here. Once that went, all hell broke loose.
Have heard of them, and I definitely think that the media was kind of exaggerating, especially by using words such as attack and violent, because in these cases the birds would have been kind of protecting their nests from the pets that were in the garden. So again, the same as with the people, with stealing food from people. So again, it's a natural foraging behaviour, but the birds, they kind of associate humans with food where people have been feeding them.
Several explanations of the supposedly abnormal behaviour of the birds were introduced after the incidents had taken place. RSPB gull expert Tony Whitehead supports that the increase of the urban population of seagulls and the confidence they have gained upon humans is responsible for the unfortunate fame, whilst Peter Rock argues that the protective nature of the bird provoked the death.
The number of birds which are nesting in towns and therefore also forage in towns has increased. We have to see that against the backdrop of numbers nationally which have declined. The species has declined by more than 50%. So they invented lots of new foraging techniques, how to get food. And they have learned that they will get food from humans, and that's what they're now exploiting. So if something which potentially could endanger their chicks, they will of course trying to deter them, get them away from the nest. So they show all very natural behaviors. The question of course is, why do these birds come increasingly into towns? It's a shy species, it would avoid humans. But it looks like that they can't find enough food and maybe also struggle to find safe nesting sites where they traditionally nest, and that's why they have to come into towns.
Rebecca Nesbitt introduced the variable of nutrition to the equation. Her theory regarding the effects of the consumption of formic acid was, of course, misinterpreted by the tabloids, which repeatedly referred to her in order to base the fantasies of drunken birds occupying the sky. That led her to clarify her intentions in a specific article.
It's a bit controversial about whether the food that they feed on in cities is actually good for them, so whether it's junk food, so it's not the same quality as the natural food that we're getting in the natural environment. So it could be that if it's not as high of quality and they're not getting enough nutrients out of it, they need more of it, so that may be making them kind of more bolder and they need to kind of find more food.
I mean, the whole reason that they're mutants in the film is that they start eating chips. That's they come inland. They come inland to start eating chips. As you say, they become urban creatures now, so the idea of them eating fish all the time doesn't, unless it's deep fried. They probably eat a lot of deep fried fish these days. But yeah, I think it's specifically down to diet. I think that's exactly what's happened.
The publicity that these incidents received triggered the involvement of political figures such as the Prime Minister himself. The contribution of Scott Mann, an MP from Cornwell, is the one of major importance. He supported the elimination of seagulls from the protected species list in order to control the population. Would that decision be beneficial, considering the destruction seagulls cause, or would it be a barbaric act of the humans imposing their strength upon animals once again?
If you're that type of person, I guess you should be allowed to do whatever you want to anything sort of nesting on your property, but it's because it's their planet as much as it is ours. But I do think that as soon as something gets in your immediate airspace, you should be allowed to defend yourself.
There are very good reasons why they're listed. There are legal reasons why they're listed. The government can't delist them. There's an independent advisory who makes decision to rules, and there are good reasons why it is listed. So it can't be simply as that be delisted just to solve that problem. So some of the responsibility does lie indeed with us. We have to make sure that the natural habitat is fit for purpose, that can sustain these species, and again we have some legal obligations for that. And second is, urban habitat is the only increasing habitat. So a lot of species are expanding into cities. So to some extent we're getting closer to nature again, and each of us might have to learn to live with nature again.
The exploitation that the Cornwall incidents faced from certain media provoked numerous discussions and concerns. Some of these discussions were more rational and truthful than others, leading to multiple different theories from scientists to politicians on how to solve the problem. However, what has become clear is that even with the unpleasant situation with the gulls, education and respect for every form of life is fundamental.